Continuing coverage on a story we brought you last night on Heartland News, a high-speed chase stretched along Interstate 55 and ended with one man dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That chase was caught on dash cam video by the Minor Police Department, and Katie Brousseau got a hold of that footage today. She joins us now live with the latest.
Well, Molly, police say 43-year-old Thomas Simonazzi met a former girlfriend where she worked, forced her in the car at gunpoint, and sped away. Police then took off after the car. You can see it all in this video. Take a look. Simonazzi nearly hit a minor police officer, as you can see there. He then sped onto Interstate 55. Remember, the woman is still in the car as the driver weaves in and out of patrol cars. I'm told several departments helped stop the man, Sikeston and Minor Police, and also Missouri Highway Patrol. They even tried using spikes to stop the car, but he drove around them. The chase ended tragically after he got off at the Portageville exit. Police say, though, the woman was not hurt. Now, some more new information from Sikeston Police. Captain Jim McMillan says there had been an ongoing argument between the woman and Simonazzi.
This is a domestic violence issue, and I think it's important for people to key in on the fact if they're involved in a domestic violence related incident, that they need to take it, you know, with great importance and make sure that they take the proper steps.
Captain McMillan says if you're involved in a domestic violence incident, contact police immediately to get the help you need. Now again, Simonazzi is actually from the Baltimore area. Police tell me the woman was his only known tie to the Heartland. Captain McMillan says police are still investigating to make sure this was the only incident Simonazzi was involved in. Live Local 8 breaking, Katie Brousseau, Heartland News.
Were they fighting? Yeah, it looked like it.
What's up, bitch? You a punk ass bitch. I'm the shit. Yo, booty ass bitch. Hey, my nigga. Fuck, bitch. I see you on your eye, bitch. Come out here, nigga. Come out here, one-on-one, bitch. What's up, dog? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's happening? Fucking bitch.
I record this one.
Come out here and squat, bitch.
I don't know.
One-on-one, nigga. No ambulance, no nothing, nigga. One-on-one, bitch. You a bitch, nigga. You a bitch. You gonna try to swing.
You got, hey, you guys.
Let him go.
No, you guys, don't do that. He's got, I know, but he's got a wife. He's got a wife. Don't fight.
Settle down.
Don't fight.
Let's go.
Don't fight.
Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my face, bitch. What's up?
Let's down. Dan from CrossFit.
Hey, you wanna talk, bitch? Settle down. Hey, mom, nigga. Settle down. Hey, mom, fuck with it. Shut up, bitch. Get the fuck in the car, bitch. Go back over there by the... Hey, sir. I'm gone. I'm gone. No. Don't fuck to me, bro. Fuck out my face. Hang on. Hey, don't disrespect. Don't let him in my car, man. Don't let him in my car.
He's got his gun drawn. Andrew, quiet. That was a proper arrest if I've ever seen one. I don't know what happened before this.
New tonight, a White House woman says she was just out for a morning walk when a police officer attacked her, put her in handcuffs, and took her to the police station.
This happened Friday morning in a White House neighborhood, but the police department says that's not the whole story. New tonight, KLTV7's Melanie Torrey shows you the video and explains why police say she's lucky she's not facing any charges.
White House police say it all started when a motorcycle officer patrolling a neighborhood noticed a truck parked along the woods and a woman walking nearby. She initiates the conversation.
How are you? You live here?
Then the woman takes off running.
Stop running, I gotta talk to you.
He advises our dispatch over the radio that she's running from him, refusing to stop. So they dispatch other units to come because we don't know what's going on or why she's not stopping. Normally, if somebody doesn't stop for us, they've either got warrants or drugs.
The officer gets off his bike, catches up with the woman, and wrestles her down to the grass. It's this part of the video that Police Chief Craig Shelton says has gotten them the harshest feedback.
So for his safety and hers, he turns her around and puts her on the ground and handcuffs her.
The woman starts screaming for her husband, who she already has on the phone. When backup arrives, they get the woman to explain why she was running.
I thought that you were fixing to, take me somewhere and hurt me. I thought you were a bad police officer.
She's walking right next to the woods. There's a blue truck parked there. It's unoccupied. Where's the occupants of the truck? Are they in the woods? Are they laying down in the truck? Are they breaking in a house?
Here I have a list of 78 different incidents White House police have responded to in this neighborhood in the last year. The White House police chief says residents have asked them to patrol their neighborhood and keep an eye out for suspicious activity. Police say that includes people running from them.
He was just trying to do his job and do it to the best of his ability, and I stand behind him.
In White House, Melanie Torrey, KLTV 7 News.
Police say they could have filed evading and resisting arrest charges against that woman, but they did not want to do that. We reached out to the woman you saw in that video multiple times for this story. She spoke with us before this video was released, but since then we have not been able to reach her.
We're glad you're with us tonight for Local 4 News at 6. Tonight, a man convicted of burglary several times before is facing similar charges again in Chesterfield Township.
Yeah, this all started as a home invasion on 21 Mile near Gratiot, but it turned into a wild chase that led police through 2 townships. Our Roger Weber is live right now with more on the wild chase that was caught on camera, Roger.
Well, the police video of this chase is remarkable, especially a dash cam view of a Chesterfield Township police officer throwing stop sticks into the path of a speeding car. Chesterfield police train with stop sticks. Last night, an officer waited for his chance to actually use them. Police say a 28-year-old fugitive named Ryan Levitt was speeding his way. The chase began after a man was spotted leaving this house with a pillowcase full of valuables. Macomb Sheriff's deputies spotted the car first.
At one point, they broadcast that Mr. Leavitt attempted to hit them with his vehicle while he was fleeing.
The chase reached speeds of 80 miles an hour. Officer Chris Swanson knew it was heading his way, and he got ready.
The tricky part is not getting yourself or anyone else hurt. You saw from the video, there's not much margin for error.
2 tires were flattened. A half-mile away at 21 in Gratiot, the fleeing driver tried to lose his pursuers. Another Chesterfield officer spotted him in a shopping center and rammed him.
He described himself as a heroin addict, desperate. He knew the Department of Corrections was looking for him.
No one was hurt. Levitt lives in Chesaning. He's a parole absconder and has 4 burglary convictions. That chase lasted about 7 minutes, and oddly enough, it ended only a few hundred yards from where that home was burglarized. Levitt's being held on a $15,000 bond. I'm Roger Weber, Local 4.
On a wild chase on I-696, Chopper 7 caught it all on camera as police busted the suspects. The chase started in Detroit, where some robberies happened. The suspects led police through 3 counties before the joyride ended, and that's where 7 Action News reporter Julie Bonovich is now live in Southfield. And Julie, there were drivers trapped on that highway at the time this was happening.
Sure, they were, Glenda. Some scary moments. I mean, this happened around 8 o'clock this morning, so you can only imagine what you'd be thinking and feeling if you saw this happening on your way to work. Chopper 7 picks up the chase in Southfield. By this time, you can see the suspects speed along 696 and Coolidge in a white Yukon, trying to outrun police. At one point, police cars try to box in the SUV. One cop car in front and one behind the vehicle. But the suspects escape the maneuver by riding onto the shoulder. The chase continues into Macomb County, and this is where the driver of the SUV looks like he's going to exit at Mound Road, but swerves back toward the freeway and crosses the grassy embankment to get back to 696. The SUV suddenly stops. Police pull out their guns, surround the vehicle, and order the suspects out. As both suspects open their doors and get out, police drag them the rest of the way and handcuff them. The two suspects were first spotted by police working surveillance in Detroit, where a bunch of robberies happened. Police are not sure if the two are responsible for the thefts, but say they ran when police spotted them.
It seemed to me that it was very much worth it. And I mean, they stole a vehicle, they took it out, they were very reckless and careless in and around a school zone that could potentially have killed young children. I don't know if I need any more justification than protecting our children to actively pursue these suspects.
And it's still unclear why they suddenly stopped on the freeway. We asked police if maybe OnStar got involved and stopped the vehicle, but they said no. We're live to Southfield. Julie Bonovich, 7 Action News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
A Lubbock driver put several lives in danger after leading police on a dangerous chase. It ended with a Lubbock police officer having to crash it into the vehicle to stop the driver.
The police chase started on Tuesday afternoon near 49th and Avenue U and ended less than 30 minutes later at 66 and the interstate. This afternoon, 23-year-old Robert Ramirez Jr. remains behind bars, facing several charges, including evading arrest and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle.
KCBD News Channel 11's Shaylee Sanders joins us now with the latest. Shaylee.
Karen and Abner, police tell us Ramirez stole the truck Tuesday afternoon, and when police tried to pull him over, he refused. In fact, police say he aimed at cars who were in his way, causing an accident and endangering several lives. Today, we have the dash cam video and police radio traffic that pieced together the pursuit that ended in a crash.
2370, the first 2 units stay in it, everybody else fall back a little.
Picked up speed to about 65, tires shredding.
He was driving on 3 wheels at a pretty significant rate of speed for a good portion of the pursuit. It was clear he wasn't going to stop, and he was endangering the lives of those around him. I heard at one point on the radio that we're going to have to get in front of him to try to warn the other drivers.
We have to stay on him the way he's driving to warn other people.
He was swerving into oncoming traffic. He was an immediate danger to the life of those around him.
2370, he's going the wrong way on the road on the interstate. He's about to crash out right about 66th Street. Everybody be careful.
It became evident that he was not going to be stopping on his own and was going to continue this kind of dangerous, these kind of dangerous actions, and the decision was made by the supervisor calling the pursuit at that point to attempt to stop it by any means necessary.
If he slows, let's knock him out.
Get it, get it.
You can stop right there, he's coming down that street.
He was resistant to the arrest. At that point, a taser was deployed to disable him. He was taken out of the car, taken into custody, where he continued to be extremely uncooperative as he was being transported.
Sergeant Jason Lewis with the Lubbock Police Department tells us every officer is trained on how to maneuver and disable vehicles, training they put to good use on Tuesday. We looked into Ramirez's criminal history, which in Lubbock County dates back to 2007, when he was arrested for interfering with the duties of a public servant. Karen and Abner.
A police chase down in Bixby ends in an instant when a car slams head-on into a dump truck. And police say it might not have been an accident. News on 6 reporter Allison Harris tells us why tonight at 10. Allison.
Scott, traffic is back to normal on this Bixby road tonight, but it came to an abrupt halt earlier this afternoon when a father watched his son crash into oncoming traffic, ending his life. Witnesses say it sounded like an explosion.
All of a sudden I heard this explosion and looked over there, and there was nothing but smoke and flames.
This car slammed into this dump truck head on, going 85 miles an hour. A police officer, not anticipating the crash, hit the back of the car, then fire. Firefighters saved the dump truck driver and the officer's okay, but police say the 19-year-old in the car, a Bixby man, AWOL from the Air Force, likely didn't want to be saved. Police say he sped up and swerved into oncoming traffic to hit the dump truck. The teenager's father called police at 3 o'clock, telling them his son was suicidal. He followed his son from 131st and Sheridan, and police fell in behind. The father watched his son crash and die.
He was obviously upset. He had witnessed the incident. We do have members of his church family with him tonight.
Sad. Made me very sad.
And we just got the name of the man who was killed in this accident. It is Justin Ryan Phillips. We reached out to the Air Force to see if he did deploy. We have not heard back. Allison Harris, News on 6.
We're now going through a field parallel to India Hook, coming back up on India Hook, coming back up on India Hook, and going westbound or northbound away from 161.
We're coming towards Mount Gallant.
Mount Gallant. Burn.
What's the traffic like?
No traffic at all. $68 miles an hour. I'm on Mount Gallant. Up here in India Hook just a minute. We're just across the bridge. Crossing Penny Lane and Golden Gate. 67 miles an hour. Just off road one time.
Well, watching our
Passing Yukon Drive, coming up to the red light. Coming up to the red light.
Coming up Mount Gallant, right?
Burnham coming to the red light at Mount Gallant, the light's red and 12. We're right here at you. Let us know which way it's turning. We can get ready. He went straight through the red light, ran the red light, straight through the red light. Still on Twin Lakes, across Mount Gallant.
You mean India?
Move to the stop sign, taking a right at the stop sign. Went left to center, but now he's getting back in his lane, coming up to the red light towards Mount Gallant.
Well, we're right here at the intersection.
He's running 66, coming up at you, he's slowing down. He just went by, there he is.
All right, right here, yeah.
Tase him!
Where's he at? Oh, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, we got him.
D91 to come make an officer.
Hey, I'm going to need you to probably come to Rock Hill. Bennett was chasing one, and anyway, we got damage to a patrol car. We had to end this chase, guy. This guy started chasing the guy. I was at the office. Long story short, Give me just a minute. We just got this guy in custody, all right? Anyway, started chasing the guy for a violation. The guy speeds up. Scott goes 10-0 on him. He starts going through a yard off a subdivision down through here, and he comes down Twin Lakes Road, goes through down here where we had the Christmas party down through here, and I'm coming up to the thing, and the guy's coming up towards us here, and here we are, and got my name, looked at the tape. I think we'll be all right about it. You probably need to come on up here. You mean to call Bradshaw and get him up here first? I did. I'm okay, Captain. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm just, you understand what I'm going through. I just wanted to call because we got this chase and got damage to a patrol car and all that stuff too, okay?
In other news tonight, it's a message you have surely heard before. Distracted driving is dangerous.
So many campaigns exist today to prevent drivers from using cell phones behind the wheel. But as Shana Humphreys reports, any distraction while driving can be extremely dangerous, even deadly.
Here's a front row seat to what happens when a driver is distracted for just 1 second.
The semi-driver stated that he was actually reaching down for a pen that he dropped.
This video was captured by another semi-driver with a camera on his dashboard. Now imagine what could have happened if he had been distracted.
Very close call. It could have been a lot worse than it was.
Attorney Corey Walker deals with personal injury cases every day. The things he's seen on the road inspired him to start Iowa Families Against Distracted Driving.
People smoking cigarettes, they drop their cigarette on the ground, or they're putting it in the ashtray. Lots of folks adjusting their radio.
Now, I like to think that I'm a pretty fantastic driver, and lots of people probably feel the same about their own driving skills. But the problem is, no matter how great of a driver you are, distracted driving can prevent you from defending yourself when another driver makes a mistake.
It's very common for other drivers to not be paying attention. So, especially in today's world, we really have to drive defensively.
This close call was a best-case scenario, but a distracted driving worst case looks like this. Back in 2012, a driver was watching a portable DVD player on I-80. Another driver, who was drunk, was headed straight for him.
He was so distracted by watching the videotape that he did not make a evasive move and basically caused his life. There was no skid marks or anything, so he didn't even see it coming.
More distractions exist now than ever before, but Walker says just remember this.
There is no such thing as a call or text that's worth your life.
And whether it's phones or food or something on the floor, it can always wait. Shana Humphreys, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Investigators say a bad breakup likely led a Wyoming man to shoot a Maquoketa police officer, then himself. Prosecutors say 30-year-old Aaron Scott broke up with his girlfriend an hour before the April 1st shootout that wounded Sergeant Brendan Zimet. Today, investigators released dash cam video of that shootout showing the moment Scott opened fire with an SKS assault rifle. Scott then drove away. Police later found his truck crashed in a ditch in Clinton County. Scott shot and killed himself. KCRG TV9's Katie Wiedemann is live in Maquoketa with more. And Katie, how is that police officer doing?
Well, doctors have cleared him to return to work here at the police station starting tomorrow. Meanwhile, investigators say the best way to explain that dramatic shootout is through dash cam video. Aaron Scott had a small arsenal when he left his Jones County home on April 1st. Investigators say he had 4 guns and plenty of ammo.
We did know based on the note that he left at his house that at some point in time he planned to die.
After noticing Scott's truck parked the wrong way on West Grove Street, Sergeant Zimet pulled over to check on him. That's when Scott opened his door and stepped out.
It's not until Sergeant Zimet gets closer, about 5 to 8 feet away, and he actually kind of clears the door, that he sees Aaron Scott holding the assault rifle.
Zimet grabbed his gun and admits firing the first shot. Then Scott unloads with his assault rifle, firing up to 19 shots. Debris flies as bullets hit the squad car. 1 bullet hit Zimet in the forearm.
He actually falls behind his squad car as Aaron Scott continues to spray and fire bullets his direction.
Finally, Scott jumps back in his vehicle and speeds away. Despite a history of mental illness, alcohol abuse, and accidentally shooting a friend in 2007, Scott was a registered gun owner.
Scott did have a valid permit from Jones County to have a firearm, a concealed firearm. And so based on the criteria set forth in Iowa, he was not precluded from that.
Investigators say Zimet was justified in firing those first shots. Now Maquoketa police say it's time to move on.
I also want to keep in mind that the Scott family also had a tragedy that night, and we, as a department, give our sympathies to them also.
Now, investigators say a family friend told them Scott often talked about how he hated the Maquoketa Police Department, but police here say they had very few prior dealings with Scott before all of this happened. He did, however, spend some time in the Jackson County Jail, which is here in Maquoketa. Live in Maquoketa, Katie Wiedemann, KCRG TV9 News.
Kansas City police should soon release the name of a suspect arrested yesterday in connection with a string of highway shootings that injured 3 people. Adriana Diaz has the latest on that.
Kansas City police say they have the man who's been firing on motorists for weeks.
We wanted to make sure the residents and those that travel through Kansas City know that they're safe.
Police surrounded the suspect's home on Thursday to make the arrest. Investigators believe he carried out a dozen highway shootings and possibly more, dating back to early March. 3 people were injured and thousands were on edge.
It's scary having someone this close.
I feel better now.
Random highway shooters have terrorized drivers before. In March, a Michigan man was sentenced to up to 40 years for shooting at 23 cars. In 2002, John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo killed 10 people during a 12-day spree in the nation's capital. In Kansas City, some drivers have been avoiding certain highways, but now with a suspect in custody, most plan to resume their normal routines. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Kansas City.
Police did not reveal how they tracked down the suspect. None of the people injured in the shooting spree have life-threatening injuries. The former wife of Sean Morgan, the Zenith man convicted of kidnapping and murdering his 3-year-old neighbor Breanne Rodriguez, now faces child sex charges in Wisconsin. 41-year-old Tanya Smith is accused of forcing 3 children, all under age 17, to engage in sexual activities with strangers and with each other. Court documents say Smith would engage in sexual activities with different men with the children in the room. She's also accused of providing a live video stream of various sexual activities. If convicted, she could face up to 40 years in prison. Back in the heartland, 2 people in Mississippi County now face felony charges after their dog attacked a mother and her teenage daughter. 43-year-old Richie Lee Davis and Linda Lynn Teague, also 43, of Wyatt, are behind bars on assault charges. Bond is set at $25,000 for each of them. Sheriff Keith Moore says a pit bull attacked the mother and daughter last Sunday. The mother has serious injuries and the teen is in the Sikeston Hospital recovering. Witnesses say the dog was unprovoked and has a history of aggression. We're told the dog has attacked or tried to attack other people in Wyatt. Now, also in Wyatt, a boil water order is in effect that will remain in place until further notice. Officials did not say how long they expect that to be. Again, the city of Wyatt now under a boil order until further notice.
Tonight, we're getting a first-hand look at a police chase that led officers through Foley yesterday. Surveillance cameras capture officers chasing their suspect just seconds before it ends in a deadly crash. News 5's Blake Brown is live in our studio tonight. Blake, witnesses are frustrated over how all this went down.
They are, Roseanne. Several witnesses I spoke with tonight say this crash could have been prevented. Tonight, we're showing you that police chase for the first time. Surveillance video shows a black Dodge truck traveling south on Highway 59. Stephen Little behind the wheel. Seconds later, the truck comes speeding back up the highway, this time traveling north with 3 officers in pursuit.
There was a black truck being chased around the cul-de-sac here by the police. He went around a couple of times.
Lorna Nichols lives at Savannah Park Apartments. That's where officers followed Little just minutes before the chase ended here along Highway 59 in a deadly crash. But those living in the apartment complex say things didn't have to end this way.
There was a black truck speeding and a sheriff's car following, and they come around this loop here and back around. There was about 3 or 4, maybe more police cars here at the entrance, and they pretty much let him go.
The sheriff had to move out of the way so he could get by, which he should have stopped him right then and there. I asked the officer why you didn't block him or hit his car. Oh, we can't do that. We can't block him. We can't hit his car. We can't shoot out his tires.
It's a two-edged sword, law enforcement. You're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. If we let him go and he kills someone, then we are responsible for that.
The video is tough to watch, considering moments after cameras captured this, an innocent life was taken. Little's truck slammed right into Ronald Ely's car, slicing it in half.
I felt like if they had stopped him, none of this would have, a man wouldn't have, someone wouldn't have died from it.
Now the driver of the truck, Stephen Little, has been charged with manslaughter. Mel.
A wild car chase caught on tape as a mom takes off with her young child. Cops say 34-year-old Aubrey Coy grabbed her 5-year-old daughter during a supervised visit. When police tracked her down, she pulled over. But when she was asked to get out of the car, she took off with her daughter in the passenger seat. Cops sped off after her, and their dash cameras were rolling as Aubrey picked up her daughter and put the child in her lap as she drove at speeds of 75 miles an hour. Aubrey made it 5 or 6 miles before police stop sticks blew out her tires. When she finally got out of the car, she tried to run from cops, nearly bolting onto the freeway with her innocent 5-year-old daughter in her clutches. Take a look at it right there. Boom. There's the child. She falls on top of her own child. It took 4 cops to arrest her, and she's struggling and fighting. Imagine how traumatized that little girl's going to be by this. What was this woman thinking, this mother? Well, she may not have been thinking clearly. Cops say they found cocaine in her car and in her system. She's charged with a litany of felonies, including child abuse, resisting arrest, possession of cocaine, operating under the influence of drugs, fleeing and eluding police. And this isn't her first brush with the law, which is probably why she was on a supervised.
Right off north of the Ipswich Motorway on state.
What's he done?
I reckon.
Oh, the cops.
Station, there's one station with an open mic there, and the last words I heard were, I reckon.
I don't know where they started this race or where, but where is he now, mate? He's obviously over that way somewhere.
It's going to end.
I got no idea where I am. Did they get him with stingers then? I didn't.
Here we go. On foot,
Here we go.
on foot, on foot.
Righto, as you can see, they've abandoned the vehicle. They jumped out while it was still running. Two police cars were able to stop it. The offenders are in the backyards, just off Blunder Road, and police are actually saturating the area to try and get these guys. You still see them, mate?
Yep.
There's one down, obviously.
For us to bring in trees. Last call we had for the females are outside at this time. Are you guys stopped up there?